Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. I am Fariba, and let's just say today has been a marvelous morning because guess what? The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer has dropped just this morning, which means that we're about to go into Phase 5. I know that we still do have Wakanda Forever that's about to come out a couple weeks from now, but that will conclude Phase 4, and then after that, we're going to basically start off Phase 5, which is Quantumania, and I know that there's going to be a lot of excitement for this because we're going to see basically Kang the Conqueror. I think this is going to be the official version of the variant that we're going to see, the one that's a bit more dangerous compared to the He Who Remains from the Loki series. And I guess this is our first kind of exposure to just the threat that is Kang the Conqueror. I mean, it already was confirmed that he's going to kind of be the villain for this film, and eventually, based upon the fact that we will all get Avengers Kang Dynasty, that he's going to be one of the big bad of this saga. So, yeah, without further ado, I am so excited to see this trailer just to kind of see what we're going to get out of it and what it has to offer in terms of Kang himself and this variant that we're going to see. So, yeah, without further ado, let's watch Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer.
Scott, you're an ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Spider-Man!
Okay.
People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this. Like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
Oh no. Okay.
Where are we? It's a secret universe beneath ours. What are you so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think. I can get you home. And give you more time. If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
So that was the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer, and that was really interesting. I love how they really start off with kind of Scott's new persona, at least like kind of reflecting back on what happened in Avengers Endgame, because I believe that that's kind of what everyone has been talking about. That's still kind of a talking point in the MCU. Like, there'll be references regarding about Endgame and kind of how some of the superheroes have really had a huge part in basically bringing everyone back from the snap. So, but I also love how it's just kind of like, okay, yes, his popularity has risen, but it's not the way that he anticipated it to be, especially because we just saw they're calling him Spider-Man, which it's really hilarious because they're basically getting him confused with another insect like superhero. So that was a really great way to kind of set the more playful tone of this trailer. And of course, I also wonder if we're going to see parts of the film where we're going to get a snippet of just kind of what he's been doing regardless of that superhero life. Like, just how he's been doing more of these podcasts about the behind the scenes of being an Avenger. We kind of got a glimpse of this back in Miss Marvel, where she, I believe, referenced Scott Lang for giving more of the deeds about what's been happening or what is life like as an Avenger. So I hope that they do still reference that part of it. I mean, at least when I was told about what this movie was going to be about, I do recall that they were discussing how Scott has been, caught up with the whole fame as being an Avenger, and that kind of affected his relationship with his daughter a little bit, which from this trailer you don't really get that sort of storyline in a sense. So I wonder if what's going to happen there, or if maybe this was just like one of those chances where we see Casey just have her chance to understand, like, okay, she is just as smart as her dad, and she's really, really getting into the whole idea of quantum physics and all that sort of stuff, and in this case, quantum realm. But I love, for one thing, that we are seeing Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas come back and reprise their roles as Hank and Janet Pine. Just to kind of see how they're going to be very involved in this, because they do have a lot more experience with the quantum realm, especially Janet, because Janet has been stuck in the quantum realm for decades, right? We remember that back in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where she wasn't dead, she just got stuck in this quantum realm forever, and it took until, that film for her to really come back into the real world. And now that we kind of see more of just the details and the micro-esque parts of the quantum realm, and just seeing just what it's like in that more micro atom-like sort of, I guess you can say, environment or atmosphere. It's kind of hard to really say, but we're seeing more of just going into the more details of just the whole the physics of everything, right? I mean, I don't have a good idea of what of just grasping physics, because physics was not my favorite science subject, but we are kind of going into the details of it, the more complexities of just how all of that works. And we saw bits and pieces of this trailer where they give us the environment of this is like the quantum realm, how we're going to even the smallest of smallest atoms, and we just saw kind of, okay, there are some species even in just going to the smaller details of the quantum realm. And not just that, but let's talk about, for one thing, Kang the Conqueror. I mean, they never really did it. I can't recall if he even called himself Kang or the Conqueror, or but it's clear that is Kang. And it's really interesting just to see how you have Jonathan Majors just really embodying this whole, not sinister, but a bit more of a darker version of this variant, right? Because remember, back in Loki, right, in the finale, the He Who Remains that we do meet in that series, he was someone who wanted to keep control of trying to, not have the whole multiverse nexus go, all over the place, trying to maintain that control and trying to make sure that, okay, if something is out of the timeline, that we need to bring it back into just putting it back into formation. And here it's like, I guess you can, I don't know if that's exactly the consequence of what happened, Loki, from the finale, if this is because of the fact that He Who Remains is officially dead, that this has opened up this whole, rabbit hole regarding his other variant of Kang, where he's a bit more darker, a bit more sinister, a bit more devious, maybe even vicious. I can't really say. I mean, this is from the way we get from the trailers, that we do see someone who's a bit more sophisticated, one who doesn't have good intentions whatsoever, and it seems like he is trying to deceive Scott in some way of trying to get them out of the quantum realm, but with a favor in mind, or with a cost, and so that's really interesting that we get from that. I mean, from the trailer itself, it doesn't give away too much of what's going on, so I do appreciate that it doesn't get too spoilerly for that bit. But yeah, no, I think that from what we've seen so far, it does keep you intrigued on what's going to happen, what this Quantumania fiasco is going to be. It does seem as if initially they go into the whole Quantumania, or the whole quantum realm, that they do get separated. So it seems as if they're going to try and go through this whole adventure, this whole maze of this whole really chaotic, sort of micro world that we're going to see, and just how they're gonna try and get out of it. But again, it does seem like it might not, even though Ant-Man in general is a bit more of a playful, a bit more of a comic, humorous type of character. I expect that this is a movie that we're going to, see a bit more of the darker aspects of it, especially with the fact that this is now going to phase 5. This is a multiverse saga. We haven't really seen Kong really just, show himself as this big bad as of yet. And I feel like this is a movie where, even with the whole comical approach to things, even with the fact that we do have Ant-Man, who is very, humorous, I expect that there's going to be a lot of surprises, especially some, unusual, darker things that are going to happen in this film. But just from the trailer itself, I'm already engaged by it. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. It does kind of give you a bit of a feel, like it does maintain its tone of being, a bit more playful, being a bit more humorous, but also not being too much of that whole comical aspect of it, and kind of giving you like, okay, but yeah, there's something very dark looming behind us, and we have Kong the Conqueror, who is, or at least we're going to go by him as Kong, but we do see Kong, who is going to be a big threat, and they're kind of giving us a shadow of what he could do. And not just that, but we also saw Bill Murray, so that was great to see him for. Again, I don't know what exactly he's going to do in the film, but I hope that he's going to have a pretty big role. But yeah, very intrigued by this. What a way to really start off my morning. But yeah, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer? What are some things that really caught your attention? What are some parts of the trailer that really intrigued you, especially in terms of like the concept itself, or Kong himself? How do you feel about Kong? Like, do you think that this is a Kong that you wanted? This is a Kong that we should have seen in back in Loki? Or is this a Kong that, you hope that will really show himself as the big bag and prove that he could be as sinister and, egotistical as Thanos? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.